Hi everyone, welcome to Gnan Cloud Garage. In this session, I'm going to talk about what is an ESXi PSOD and what are the steps to resolve PSOD issues. So let's start with the first question. What is a PSOD? So PSOD stands for purple screen of death. If you see in the right side diagram, you can see the screenshot of how the purple screen of death looks like. When the ESXi 8 is affected with PSOD issue, it will show the purple screen and it will also have some of the error information. Okay, and it is a critical error condition that occurs in the VMware ESXi hypervisor when it encounters a fatal error, resulting in the entire system becoming unresponsive and displaying a purple diagnostic screen. Okay, and PSOD typically includes error codes. So error codes, if you see in the right side, there are error codes are 0x4200. The same error code repeated. And also there is a error code complete number as well, and that is a point highlighted here, and the stack traces and other technical information that can help in diagnosing and resolving the issue. Even if you see the information or are all the information more related to the some of the hardware. And even if you see here, the hardware is pointing to the VMHBA 65. That means virtual machine hardware host bus adapter. That means one of the FCHBA code having the issue, that is failed errors. And PSOD errors can be caused by various factors, including hardware failure. If you see in the right side diagram, it is pointing to the hardware failure, and it can be a driver issues or incompatible software or incorrect configuration settings. All these scenarios, our ESXi host become as a unresponsive state, or in other words, we call it as a PSOD issue, purple screen of death. Okay, so in order to resolve this one, in general, there are multiple scenarios to resolve PSOD. Let me explain you the few quick scenarios. See, what are the steps to resolve ESXi PSOD issues? The most common one scenario is analyze the error message. Even if you see in our previous screen, we notice that there is a error message 0x4200 series, and the error is more related to the virtual machine HBA. Maybe in the another scenario, you may face the error related to the CPU or error related to the any of the other hardware peripheral device. Okay, that point only we mentioned here. Analyze the error message, carefully read the information displayed on the POSWD screen. Take note of error code like 0x4200, stack traces, and any other relevant details. That is our first step. And second step is search the VMware knowledge base article. Let's say our same error message, if you want to search in our official article, we can search it. Okay, and similarly we can also find the specific troubleshooting steps. If you are familiar with the troubleshooting steps, you can go ahead and do it, or else you can also look for a VMware official technical support. That is common for any scenario. We are contacting the VMware technical support. And there are other scenarios why we are getting the PSOD is hardware compatibility. Let's say our current ESX version is 8.0 and you install the latest firmware. That firmware is not compatible with our ESX 8.0 guest OS. That scenario also we may get into the PSOD errors. Okay, and another scenario, review the software and driver compatibility. There are some network drivers or CNA drivers like converged network adapter drivers. These drivers also, if we have any either a older version or newer version, the make sure that that driver must be compatible with our ESXi versions. If you are using ESX 7 series, we should validate that driver should be compatible with 7 series. In case of any compatible issues with our drivers also, we may get into the PSOD errors. Okay, and another scenario is apply patches and updates. Most of the scenario, how we can resolve the PSOD issues is, let's say our current version is ESXi 8.0. Recently, VMware released ESXi 8.0 update 1 with the latest patch. So whatever the issues we are facing in ESX 8.0, those issues are addressed in latest patch. So same way for PSOD errors also, we can make sure that our ESX host must be running with latest patches and updates. Okay, and analyze the log file. Some scenario we can find the issue, how we can resolve it based on the error message log files. As we know, the most common log file in our ESXi is vmkernel.log and vmk summary log, hosty log. Within these three logs, we can find the some clues to investigate the PSOD issue further. Okay, and also VMware provide tools like vSphere web client and ESXi shell, accessing and analyzing the log files. And finally, last but not the least, we can seek assistance from the VMware technical support. So if you are unable to resolve PSOD issue on your own, consider contacting VMware support. They can help diagnose the problem and provide specific guidance based on your environment and error details. But remember that resolving PSOD issues can be complex, and it is essential to exercise caution when making the changes to your ESX environment. Always recommendation is we should do some changes first on a non-production environment. That means test and development environment. We have to do the latest changes. Once that is success and there is no issues after the observation, finally we can implement those changes in a production environment. Okay, that is a more in general thumb of rule for all the production scenarios. Okay, and for a testing purpose, let me connect to one of our test system. Let's say I'm connecting to the lab system, how the PSOD errors looks like. Let's say when we connect to the vCenter server, we have a 3 ESXi host. One of the ESX is showing as not responding state. In general, the first step is we need to verify whether the ESX is pingable or not. Let's say ping space ESXi 02.domainname.com. When I ping, the host status is pingable, but somehow ESX01 is pinging, but the current not responding state is ESX02. But ESX02 is not reachable state. Generally, if it is reachable state, we can connect to the ESX2 using SSH session, like using PuTTY, and we can restart the host agent service. But our scenario, we are unable to access the ESX. So the only option is our ESX is running on, it's a HPE Synergy hardware. So we can connect to the ESXi host ILO. Okay, to access the ILO, connect to the HPE OneView for the specific Synergy frame and open the ILO address, and it will launch the specific ESXi host ILO page. When we connect to the ILO page, in the left side, you can see there is a purple screen error. So if you want to launch the console, select any one of the console, let's say HTML5 console. So it will take a while to launch the console. See, this is the error message. See, when we have a purple screen of death, when you notice in vCenter, it is in the not responding state, and even we are unable to ping the ESXi host also. If it is reachable state, we can restart the host agent service. If it is not reachable state, the only thing is we need to capture the screenshot of the purple screen of death. The error, whatever we are facing here, I copied in our slide. See VMHBS65 and the error code is 0x4200. Okay, once we capture this information, we have to restart the ESXi host. To restart the ESXi host, go to the power and you can use the option reset. Once we click on reset, it will back the ESXi host to normal. It will take a while to reboot the ESX. And once the host is back to normal, we have to export the ESXi logs and send it to the VMware technical support team for further investigation. Okay. So currently host reboot may take a while. Rebooting is in progress. Okay. Now the ESXi 8 loading is in progress. So generally for this VMHBA issues, when we contact the VMware technical support team, they recommend to upgrade the firmware version. To verify the firmware version, let's go to the ILO system information. So in the meantime, I will just close the screen and go to the network. We can see the network driver information. And if we go to the storage, we can see the storage firmware information. Currently firmware is storage firmware 3.0. And similarly for network also. So network, if you see the version, firmware version is 8.59.5. Okay, so most of the scenarios in case of these PSOD issues, VMware recommend to upgrade network firmware and the storage firmware should be latest version. That is the first level of troubleshooting. Some of the issues will resolve after upgrading the firmware to latest. Still the issue is continues. We have to export the logs one more time after the firmware upgrade and send it to the VMware for further investigation. But as I mentioned, most of the scenarios, the issues will resolve any one of the either with the latest patch, or some cases it will resolve with a latest driver, or some scenarios if we have any of the hardware peripheral changes, we have to replace those incompatible hardware peripheral to resolve the issue. Okay, so now let's back to the screen. We can see how the ESX boot status. Once the host becomes normal, we can see in our vCenter also, it will back to the connected state. Still it is in the not responding state. And even in the system information summary tab, we can see the hardware status. Currently hardware level, there is no error messages. Some scenarios, even though if there is any hardware issue at the any of the hardware component, also causes the PSOD errors. If no hardware issue, most of the time the firmware should be the issue. Okay. So next session, I will show you how we can upgrade the firmware from lower version to latest version. So few more minutes to come up. Currently starting the all services are in progress. Okay. If you see here, now the ESXi 02 is status is back to normal. But to analyze the log files, we have to export. See, even in the vCenter level, the connection status is back to normal. So we have to export the logs, right click here, and we can export the ESXi host logs for the further investigation. See, you can see the option for export system logs. So just click on, use the default option, export logs. So export logs may take a while to export the logs. So once the logs are exported, and currently it's in progress downloading log bundle. Once it is completed, we can upload these log files to VMware technical support team to find the root cause, and also they will suggest for the necessary drivers or any of the patches information. Okay, hope you understand the how we can resolve the PSOD issues. Okay, so there may be a different scenarios. I just try to explain here one key scenario. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you. If you're watching this video first time, please do view, like, share, and subscribe to the Gnan Cloud Garage channel. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate all your support. Bye for now.